game away from closing it out.
And I thought it was fascinating what Aphromoo said about the Nautilus-Rakan matchup. Aphromoo considers that Rakan favored, so he didn't understand why CLG wouldn't just pick Leona into that matchup, especially if they're trying to win the 2v2. Obviously, CLG had the choice to do so, so they thought they would be able to win that matchup in my eyes, but they have to not only pick the favored matchups, but they also have to perform on them.
And there's the smile from Damonte, seeing the Kiana ban. Not willing to first pick it is CLG, which does leave Irelia up as the ban they left available. So is that now the CLG first pick, or does that get to go to Damonte for the first time all series?
I definitely think you don't want to first pick it. Doesn't seem like it would fit into CLG style that they want to play. We've seen them fail 2 times now with melee ranged mid laners. So I think the LCS also had that where just revert to what has worked in the past for them, where the long range control may just scale up for later.
Skarner takeaway and a small smirk on Stixxay's face. It's CLG who would want to play the slower, more controlled style. And I think after what happened in the first 2 games, and also with how Wiggily has been struggling in this series, this is a smart choice to take the Skarner away. But now it's going to be Sejuani.
Yeah, of course, that's going to be really scary. So Clutch Gaming take their time. They are going to let the timer tick down as Sejuani comes in. So Jungler's picked up instantly. And there's 2 more picks for the second ban phase for both squads. Clutch get 1, CLG then get 2, then Clutch rounds it out. And is it going to be this Irelia? Is that going to be available? It was banned in the first game. It was unpicked, unbanned in the second, as far as I can recall from what I wrote down. The question is, does Clutch play alongside that, or they care more about the Aatrox, or they care more about Rakan?
Yeah,
There's the Irelia.
This duo is just so insanely good. We talk about stun locking people. This is what it is. Sejuani's passive called Permafrost. You perma-stun lock people with this combo because Irelia brings her own, because she can stack up Sejuani's Permafrost so quickly, and then you even get the ultimate from Sej layered in on top of that later. It's a very good 2v2 early. It's also great for team fighting later.
Let's hear the cheers. Corki's been locked in. PowerOfEvil gets to bring it in. He was hoping it would go unbanned. Finally gets to play it here into this one. The 915 is full power Corki, and there's quickly the Gangplank grabbed up as well, so CLG taking a lot of Clutch's big picks away. Yeah,
and CLG is going late game here. So it's a question of, does Clutch try and match that in some way, or do they just put their foot on the gas pedal and try and run over CLG?
Problems in both of the first 2 games have been Clutch outplaying CLG in early skirmishes. So if CLG can also not fight those fights,
just don't take the fights,
while also having scaling champions, like you have to also play that style. You have to do it on the Rift. Previously, they had gone into losing setups there where Clutch had a better preparation for a team fight and better executed as well. I think that has been the core issue. Now, with very clearly champions, that do want to scale up and are going to have, really thrive when they do get a couple of items put together, that's going to have to be the game plan on the Rift as well.
All right, final bans to come through and the final picks to follow afterwards. Clutch gave you to support in the second solo lane. Counterlogic Gaming need their entire bot lane here as they're dropping Karma and Rakan off the table, trying to get rid of the Gangplank counter picks and get rid of the probably most powerful support right now with the Rakan that Clutch would have rights to first.
Yeah, that's also a good number of bans towards Huni, which he could pretty safely pick something now unless they actually do want support counter pick later.
Viktor is going to be that second one.
Definitely still flexible between those 2, by the way. Huni has played top lane Viktor, much like the other top lane mages that he plays. Very aggressively trying to push in. I would expect, though, in a Gangplank matchup, it's going to be the Irelia. You can play kill lane Irelia into Gangplank very easily, especially since you have a Sejuani.
Okay, another new look. Ashe Thresh comes in for the CLG bot lane. They've got the lineup here. The engage tool's not too bad. You've got Thresh, you've got the Ashe Arrow, and Skarner. CLG can start the fights the way they want, and they can also disengage pretty cleanly with volley, with the box, everything else. And there's the Nautilus coming through.
CLG needed to bring a lot of CC in their bottom lane, so I thought it was going to be a Varus or an Ashe. The Thresh is also what Biofrost made his rise on, so it is a very comfortable champion for him. And considering how the first 2 games went for CLG, I'm very happy to see them switch things up so drastically with 5 new champions that they haven't played already in the series. It's a departure from what had not been working. It's a commitment towards scaling solo lanes. It's CC bottom lane to try and play down there once they're level 6. And it is definitely mixing things up. And now that we're past 20 seconds, we know it's going to be that Viktor top.
Okay, timing ticked down. CLG must pull the reverse sweep, and we've seen a lot of those in the LCS playoffs. They can absolutely be done. They just have to play a lot better than they had in the first 2 games. Clutch has absolutely been the better team. As the coaches shake hands for what might just be the final time, we'll have to see. As the top lane, Viktor is the counter plick into Gangplank. Damonte gets the Irelia alongside Sejuani. That is an incredibly strong 2-on-2. Anytime a gank comes in, but PoE gets his Corki. You get the crowd out of the bottom lane. CLG try a new look, and they're going to hope it's enough in game 3.
Yep, CLG looking for later. They have a good engaged combination. Ashe arrow into a Skarner pull with some very good scaling DPS for themselves. But Clutch have not let them get any sort of scaling, even into the mid game. They have destroyed these games early.
Here we go, onto the rift for what could be the last time today as Clutch is 2-0 over Counter Logic Gaming, a meteoric rise in the back half of the summer split. They brought Liquid to 5. They were nearly in the finals, but a 3-0 in the 3rd place match is on the horizon for them as CLG hope to turn it around. Back onto the rift, hoping they can carry some performances here.
And Clutch has held so much swagger throughout this entire series, going very aggressive early on in these games. First blood in game 1 was 5 men collapsing mid lane around 3 minutes. Early kills bottom lane in game 2 as well. So now that we are in this situation where the team's timers are mismatched, Clutch Gaming, a little bit more power early. It's on them to try and make some plays happen.
Kaisa a bit far away, Thresh as well.
Everybody's joining though. So Kaisa's here now, 5-on-5, level 1.
Lord. Oh, that hit the wall anyway, but Stixxay flashing on reflex.
It's a good start for Clutch Gaming, making that roam up, also trying to delay these recalls.
Hey.
Remember, Stixxay doesn't even have teleport, so it's very important he gets back early. All right,
Shouldn't miss XP.
All right, speaking of experience, both solo laners in range for that ward kill. Can get to level 2. First wave. Actually, both going back.
Well, a quick word from the sideline as we have Think Card standing by.
Thanks, guys. Think Card, we were just watching that little skirmish right there. What was going through your head? Were you worried, or did you know that they'd get the upper hand?
It's always nerve-wracking when something happens level 1, but we prepared for it, so thank God nothing happened.
Tell me about the team environment and mentality right now, because especially after such a dominant game 2, the players have got to be feeling confident.
Yeah, we're feeling confident. It's just really important to make sure that we don't have too much energy and we don't get sloppy. So we still need to focus on ourselves, and if we focus on ourselves, we'll get the W.
And what's it going to take for Clutch to close out the series right now?
It's just going to take some clean play. As long as we play well, we'll know we'll win.
Best of luck to you and the team. Back to you guys.
Nearly finding that second shot right there as the top laners trade back and forth aggressively as well, but Ruin feeling a bit more comfortable here. Almost lands that barrel chain. We can see CLG taking some damage in a lot of these lanes though. Bot lane 6-12, and the early hooks have been pretty good for Vulcan.
Huni's top lane Viktor too is going airy, so he's looking for constant harassment. He actually wants to try and get that lead over Ruin. I actually thought he might go Klepto. Mid lane, decent chunk under Damonte. We'll see if junglers get called here. Damonte's in a position where he still has 1 corrupting charge, but he's actually calling Lira into the jungle pretty quick. Headed for a top lane gank on a half-health Gangplank.
Half health. Eats the oranges, means now he can't get out of the CC, and Huni knows
That's
that.
it.
He knows there's no cleanse. There's a red buff. They can run him down the whole time. He's in melee range, got some move speed, but he's slowed. There is not a way out. Huni is going to find the help, and the first blood comes through to Lira.
Wave got frozen in exactly the right spot. Yet another isolated death for Ruin. League leader in isolated deaths. So that is where Clutch can look to punish in this game. And to speak to your point, Kobe, about the Viktor with Aerie, he's gone Aerie Scorch. So there's no Gathering Storm in that sorcery. He is not picking this Viktor to scale. He is picking this Viktor to win lane against the Gangplank.
And it makes complete sense because if you see the champion select, you cannot go late versus this CLG team. Wiggly's going up topside for a possible 2v2, but there is a triple stacked minion wave there that is basically 50% of another champion's damage if they went into that fight.
Some damage down here as well. Vulcan gets the aftershock in, but still takes quite a few shots on the way out as they try to last hit under turret right now. That's going to be a farm lead to Stixxay, and Biofrost turning the corner in this matchup. Doing very well in this 2-on-2.
Yeah, Vulcan's taken low enough and doesn't have any potions left that he won't really be able to make any aggressive play in this lane. So it's kind of Cody Sun and Vulcan trying to just get as much CS as possible while Stixxay and Biofrost get control of the river.
Wiggily at least gets the scuttles for himself. Actually gets both here. Got the top one. Now he's going to clear this one out, no problem. So that's something positive. You're seeing 28-13 in farm, by the way. It's only been these 3 camps for Lira. All his effort was spent getting that top lane to go well. You can see the gold difference, only 300 despite a first blood. A lot of that is farm.
Yeah, Wiggily committing to the Skarner playstyle. Farm up very quickly in the early game. Emax get 6 and then start making stuff happen. So Lira knows that all too well. That's why he's been very active early.
Good positioning there. You can see what they can do with Thresh. Allows you to be extremely safe, even when teleport coming back in. Vile goes super far back in the lane, and they get the lane.
They swapped lanes as well. They've moved Ruin towards mid, saying that he couldn't handle the Viktor matchup. The Corki, I think, will be slightly better against the Viktor, but now that also makes PowerOfEvil a potential gank target up top.
And also, I mean, a Sejuani Irelia combination approaching level 6 for Damonte. If you put Gangplank there in the mid lane, he can even still be attacked in the mid lane, which is considered the safer lane, much shorter. They're getting another swap out. If you look at the mini-map right now, Damonte was sent up topside and Huni went mid. So Ruin's gonna follow, does not want anything to do with this Aerie Scorch Viktor.
Smart play, trying to get yourself as much farm as possible. Well, right now it's 1,000 gold difference.
Keep the swaps rolling.
Yep, Huni finds a little bit of poke right there, and now it's the matchups that CLG want.
Generally, you always give the favor to the team initiating the swaps because Damonte got to push that wave into tower. Then they just handshake once again. All right, Huni, head back up there. If Ruin's gonna keep moving around, you track him down, and the team initiating the swaps gets to push the wave first.
But who has the river control as they're running up and down so often? Lira knows there's 3 people here. They might think about this 3v3 because Damonte is 6.
And they are the team that wants the early fight.
Well, they can fight this. They have 2 level 6s.
Knock up, couple of slows, damage comes in. They found the CC. Wiggily just flashes in time, but he's going to find the stun regardless. They still got the follow through. Is it enough damage? Wanda can't quite get it. Vulcan's over the wall, but he's going to be hooked almost at a turret range. Doesn't quite take the turret shot, though, just barely out there, but they're going to go back into its PowerOfEvil. When he back to his side of the squad, he'll stay alive, just barely no kills.
All right, Damonte missed almost everything there. Wiggily was able to flash out just before the ultimate came through from Irelia. Then he also does not hit the W tag, doesn't get another Q to finish off the kill on Skarner. That's quite lucky, I think, for CLG. They get drawn into an early skirmish. We said that's goal number 1 for Clutch.
Yeah, and I think that is a huge missed opportunity for Clutch Gaming. They had level 6 on both of their solo laners before CLG had relevant ultimates. They didn't have GP6, and Corki at level 6 doesn't matter that much before he's been able to save up missiles. So the fact that CLG got out of that without suffering any deaths is huge for them. They needed that time to be bought.
Well, the game state still is 800 gold to Clutch Gaming's lead. The bot lane's still 7 CS apart, and that's with Vulcan running over from earlier on. Really finding himself into a kill, but couldn't quite do it there, burning his flash in the process. You can see CLG only missing 2 flashes.
I want to turn our eyes back towards the bottom half of the map because there is Predator now available for Wiggily, and he could go help this bottom lane. Stixxay and Bao, well, let's take a look at how this turns out first.
He's flashless.
Yep. Should have oranges, puts the ult down for the slow, gonna find some CC towards him, he's gonna wait for the stuns to come through, and he's gonna very slowly eat the oranges, walk away, has just enough HP to stay alive.
Quite well played from Ruin there, actually, and a whole wave given up by Huni to try and go for that kill, not to mention the Sejuani ultimate, so they will not be able to use that bottom lane. And here's the swap. I think Huni's dead.
Big package damage towards Huni. They're going to knock him down. Well done, PowerOfEvil. Lira wants nothing to do with this fight. He's going to walk right away. Great kill for CLG.
That's huge for CLG. PowerOfEvil gets the package kill. That's going to fund Trinity Force for Corki. As soon as he gets that, they will be off the ground. Wiggily also going to take the opportunity, since they saw Lira on top half, to start up the Dragon. Mountain Drake should go over to them due to the bottom lane constantly pushing.
Really big turnaround here for CLG. Not going to stay for the plate. Wants to make sure he can get back to the lanes he wants to be at in time. Biofrost helps to make sure Wiggly's going to be safe. There's going to be no problem there. Right under the Spire, infinite mana, plenty of attack speed. That's going to go over. Mountain Drake goes to counter Logic Gaming. They're sitting on a 600 gold lead. First time they felt good, really all series, but well done.
Yeah, and the package announcement just kind of catches Clutch Gaming off guard with all the lane swapping that CLG has been doing. You may have expected PoE to roam up there, but just a very good roam and an easy kill picked up after Clutch burned so much going for that kill.
Once again, bot lane up 9 for Stixxay and Biofrost. They were the better performing bot lane throughout the regular season. They're with the players who are supposed to have an edge coming into the matchup. It's been mostly Cody Sun and Vulcan here in Detroit, but this time around Stixxay and Bio feeling a little bit better.
And already, I wonder how Clutch Gaming is feeling here, because they have narrowly missed a few crucial opportunities and know that CLG is getting through this early game quite well. Will they overforce at this point, or will they clean up their execution and make the next fight work?
That stopwatch is actually very big. An unnecessary cooldown that Vulcan had to blow, going for that hook on the Thresh under tower. I think another little thing going the way of CLG, and that being in the bottom side, might turn out to be big. Again, look at all this effort put into controlling vision between mid and top, though, because of the constant importance of that lane swap.
And the moment of truth here, the Rift Herald. Clutch has owned this. Lira's here, but if you look at the map, CLG is much faster to this play.
Collapse around this very low health, should be smiteable.
Oh no, he's gonna...
Okay, goes to Wiggily. Lira not able to take that one away. They're gonna be able to pick that one up, no problem. And Huni's now gotta run away, but he's taking so much damage. PoE, one more rocket with the stuns coming from. It's traded back, and Lira finds the kill. Will there be a re-engage? So the barrel's gonna look pretty nice. It's gonna be some time spent by Vulcan, puts the ult down to buy some more time. Last play, huge by Biofrost. 2 kills picked up. Cody goes back in. Irelia over the top as well, and now CLG running away. Biofrost does not have a way out, and a big turn comes through for Clutch.
It looked so big for CLG with Biofrost getting the dream hook and flash over the wall into the 3-champion Flay. But Cody Sun had finally arrived, and when the Kaisa enters the fight, Clutch turned it around with the extra kill, and they've taken over the gold lead.
That is still the type of play you love to see from Biofrost on the Thresh, the killer instinct going in, but as you say, the rest of Clutch wasn't far behind. Ashe Arrow burned at the very start of the play. You have to track who's still alive in these fights. The fact that PoE dies while Huni is still alive means at this point the numbers advantage is there for Clutch Gaming as long as they can make it in.
And that time around, it was a bit of greed from PowerOfEvil. They knew that Lira was still in the pit on Sejuani. There's another look at that flash play, but when Damonte and Cody Sun arrive, the Irelia has to be respected. Ultimate comes through. Cody Sun dives right in on the Kaisa, knowing he's got backup from the teammates. And Clutch Gaming slightly ahead in the gold right now, but CLG, I think, still feeling fairly good. Definitely the best of the games thus far in the series for them.
They have 2 Trinity Force users who haven't yet hit Trinity Force, and they're still completely in this game. They have a Drake advantage. They actually did pick up the Rift Herald, so they'll have a little while to use it. We'll see if they have enough lane pressure to actually get a good charge on the turrets, so we may not see this one before 14 minutes for the extra turret plate gold, but still, CLG has options, which is something we haven't been able to say in the first 2 games.
And some texture on the gold lead, as most of it is on Lira. He's the only individual, well, up until that plate goes over, who had the gold lead, one of the only ones who had a gold lead over his opposite member, that 3-kill Sejuani. You'd rather have those kills all be on Cody Sun or Damonte or Huni, so it's not appropriately or optimally dispersed here on Clutch's side.
I gotta see where the vision control moves next. There's a lot of players topside around those top plates, which is curious because Mountain Drake is spawning in 40 seconds, and since CLG is so heavily committed in that top lane, I feel like that's just going to cede control for Clutch until the Rift Herald, they're drawing him back up towards top.
Looks like Clutch Gaming want to get a defense in place. 4 members heading up the river. They want to cut off the Rift Herald before he can get the charge off.
Right here.
Oh, doesn't land the Q though, Vulcan. That was going to be pretty crucial. TP's going to come through, and now here comes the TP up on the top side, and it's going to be no plates picked up with no one in range, but instead the fight is what happens. A big 3-man play. It's a 1-for-1. A second kill now comes through for PowerOfEvil. Biofrost low, but he can't quite kill him. Damonte's still trying. Cody Sun killers in the back line, and now it is Clutch Gaming taking more of this fight. 3-2 so far, running back to defend their turret now as they do win that team fight.
Damonte is doing so much work on the back end of these team fights, basically solo killing Stixxay during that fight. They don't stop the Rift Herald from charging, but they still have that killer instinct.
And a key part of Rift Herald, if you are not within a range of that tower, it's actually very close, around like that area, you don't get gold for the Rift Herald plates that it charged off. I don't think any member of CLG was close enough.
No, not a chance.
So that, even though the charge gets off, the gold has been avoided. Here's another look at that flash in from the Skarner though.
Yeah, and he actually ends up going a little bit too deep since he doesn't get the first pull. He flashes in afterwards, and yes, he does finish Huni, but he uses his entire health bar to do so and presents himself as a fairly easy target for the rest of Clutch.
And the Triforce is done for the Gangplank, but it's also done for the Irelia. And Damonte, with the CS lead of the game and 1 kill, is going to feel very powerful in the very first power spike of this Irelia. You can see a 1,300 gold lead puts Clutch ahead. They've got the bottom river under control as well as they knock down these wards. This Mountain Drake likely to be theirs.
As you can see, they had the extra lead from turret plates as well off the early game. Wiggily gets a ward in, but I doubt they're gonna risk too much for it. Hey, Predators, he's going!
They're gonna try, they're gonna find an arrow right in the front though with M-Shock in. It's gonna be the support, he's gonna stay alive for a while. Wiggily gonna get burned down. Cody Sun is on a killing spree and the Drake still low, but it's gonna be Clutch forced to back off. Lira burns Smite in the fight, so nothing to be done there.
I really thought that was gonna be a big fight for CLG considering they have the package for Corki. Early packages can do so much, but Clutch immediately annihilate the CLG jungler and take away any threat they had around this objective.
I think there's a critical difference between the way Clutch has played around Lira's Skarner and CLG is playing around Wiggly's Skarner, and it's about following up and having numbers advantages. Wiggily is trying to solo charge into 5 people to pull one out, and Clutch is focusing him. Whereas they need to have either a numbers advantage or other distractions to go in as Wiggily is initiating. That hasn't happened, and Wiggly's paying the price.
And it's even individual plays. Vulcan, the arrow is coming towards him. He preempts it with a hook, turns on Aftershock, locks down the enemy jungler, plays practically invincible, weathers the Ashe stun. Even the individual plays are better on the Clutch Gaming side, and in those small moments making the right call.
All right, round 2, here we go. Clutch move in, clear out the vision around the dragon. Take a look at your cooldowns. There's no Skarner ult or Ashe arrow this time around.
Good stopwatch by Lira. The hook may have ended up killing him, but it is going to make this difficult for Clutch to stay in for. Now that Lira's so low.
Gangplank will pop the rim on the back line, looks at the barrels, finds some damage. Damonte 1v1ing now Lira on the back side though, but Stixxay pops some time with the stopwatch, has to flash away. A hook now towards the screech of support, not going to find that kill just yet. Biofrost puts down the box, trying to run away. Huni not slowed though, the anchor almost lands. Doesn't quite get it there, and Ruin manages to grab that Drake.
Yeah, PowerOfEvil and Ruin take down Damonte, so Clutch have to run. The arrow comes back on cooldown.
That's big damage though, they might find a little bit more. Blue Spot used for a slow. Huni, no way out. That's 2 kills now the CLG pick up with the Drake on top. They tie the gold again.
Beautifully played fight there by CLG. They find the right level of commitment. The 3 kite back while the 2 killed Damonte, who was trying to solo people on the side. The coordination comes through, and CLG's carries in Gangplank and Corki have really gotten going.
CLG getting their first turret in more than a game. Finally showing up now in game number 3, and it's the solos, I think, really stepping up. Ruin and PoE doing a lot of work there, and we can watch them kill Damonte again.
Yeah, so here's what I was talking about, where Gangplank Ultimate actually causes Clutch Gaming to completely split up. On the top side of your screen, Stixxay, Wiggily, and Biofrost move in, and Vulcan goes for them along with Cody Sun, but Damonte's isolated on the bottom side. Even Dragon is still DPSing Damonte, misses the ultimate on PowerOfEvil. Once he's down, Clutch try and make a flash desperation play on the other split members of CLG, but CLG's pick up the dragon, and then they close in on the rest of the members.
The missed Sejuani ultimate was one of many factors that delayed this clutch engage, and Vulcan also struggling to find these dredge lines into fights as Clutch continue to be aggressive here, but do have to commend CLG for getting those 2 Mountain Drakes and still holding this gold lead.
Okay, CLG Gaming. Can you keep it going? Can the reverse sweep start here? A gold lead at 19 minutes. Second outer turret goes down. Clutch Gaming have been held objectiveless so far. It's only been kills onto the red team. PoE pretty safely wave clearing. Huni not getting a lot done. 0, 4, and 7. Not the kind of scoreline he wanted. That counter pick not really bearing any fruit, while Ruin has been doing amazing on this Gangplank.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for Huni this whole game now. Because he didn't get an early lead by abusing a matchup on this Viktor, he's going to have to deal with so many threatening abilities. Gangplank ultimate long range is devastating for him in teamfights. Ashe, Arrow, Skarner, as well as Thresh, all looking for that Viktor who will be vulnerable.
Poke back and forth. Cody Sun doesn't have the easy way to wave through this one, so take the long way around. Back across the wall. Wiggily, though, is gets warded off, so he's not going to get spotted regardless. And he'll just take away a camp as this bot lane is now being pressured. CLG pushing Damonte under his turret, really threatening the turret itself.
Yeah, really look to see if Clutch can get flanks, because I don't think they're going to stop trying to force these team fights. And what they want is Damonte to be able to go in the range of Sejuani and stun lock one of the CLG carries. There are no cleanses on PowerOfEvil or Stixxay and no QSSs. Here they come.
The attempt, Acre comes in, a lot of damage. Wiggily flashes in, though he's going to find Huni. Into the back line goes Cody Sun, he's killed the Ashe. They've got Thresh now as well. Ruin trading with Huni, gets that kill picked up, but it's still a 2-for-1. Clutch Gaming favored.
This time around, Damonte demolishes Stixxay.
Yeah.
Comes from the brush, 100% to 0. That Ashe is gone. And CLG are on the retreat here. Lira's positioning between the 2 towers while they take it down. No objective completed here, but a significant amount of damage done.
Yeah, but the fact that PoE and Ruin were still alive at the end of that fight means that Clutch really couldn't make much of that victory. Yes, they caught Stixxay, but they really need to get clean sweeps in these team fights with the amount of wave clear that CLG has to keep themselves afloat.
Yeah, we got to look at it again, because I was just talking about how Huni's Viktor is going to have a very difficult time navigating these team fights. He's going to be the target. He has a lot of deaths, and I want to, once again, keep eyeballs here, because it is Clutch getting this situation. You see Huni on the high ground. He gets flash ulted by Wiggily, okay? So not a lot that he's going to be able to do there. Ruin also flashed on him, so 2 members all focusing there. You can't blame him too much for that, but Clutch Gaming, in the end, don't finish off the tower. They're back out again,
Damonte wants this fight.
He's gonna try for something right there. Got a spot. Ruin finds the first stun. Waiting for the rest of the squad. Can't find the anchor, though. That might simply disengage. Oh, that's a big arrow here as well. Damonte is isolated. Has a flash over the wall. Package nearly tracks him down as well, and PoE wants in for this one. They might have the damage. Lira's coming back around. Finds a bit of damage here. Aftershock is back on. Lantern, oh, Wiggily turned for it and he couldn't click it. Burns the ult now instead, looks to pull in Lira. A lot of damage here in the front liner. Can't quite kill him. Wiggily forced to run away. He's so low, but he'll just barely disengage.
Damonte does have teleport, but doesn't have a good flank ward to come in on.
And there's another dragon coming up. It's another mountain dragon. All of these dragons have been mountains. The game wants one of these teams to take Baron. CLG already with 2 of them for them.
Oh, that is damage right there, Huni. Down to 300, forced back to the base.
How much damage, Phreak? Would you say?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, not
Meanwhile,
yet.
let's turn our eyes towards the dragon that's about to come up. Scuttle Crab's available for some permanent vision, too. See if they can slip in and grab that one first.
Mid lane's gonna go to CLG first. And Clutch gonna play one a bit more defensively as they grab some of this farm and so look at CLG into the river.
Yeah, ultimates are going to be back up. The last time we saw this fight in the river, it was Nautilus ult, Sej ult, and Irelia ult, all thrown onto Stixxay to one-shot him. If Clutch gets a flank again, they're going to look for something similar. Maybe a little bit of target switching with those ults, or they can just catch PoE.
Finds some knockups. The ult comes across as well. He's going to stay alive, disengages well enough. That is a big attempt right there. An ult down for Nautilus. That was how they point and click started on a Stixxay. They let Cody Sun follow up with that CC.
So CLG now should be waiting for Wiggly's ultimate. The Skarner ultimate a little bit longer on the cooldown, but Wiggly's charging ahead like he has it. No flash available to him. Another probably 15 seconds left on that Skarner ultimate. They're starting the dragon, forcing it now.
Trying to Put it down, double mount makes it go pretty quickly. You can see Clutch getting a turn right back around. The Arctic armor drops off, but it's going to be a burn down. This should be very hard to steal, but there's always a possibility. Good smite comes through, Lira grabs that one, so now one mountain drink picked up there as the resets come through. CLG gonna get back to the base, buy some items, wait for round 2.
Felt like CLG was very afraid of the river initiation or a flank coming in from Clutch Gaming.
I think a few seconds on an ultimate that big. Skarner ultimate is such a big deterrent for an Irelia. You know, we talk about it shutting down these melee range assassins. It's one of the biggest things that Damonte is looking out for is Skarner ultimate. So if they charge ahead, you know, even if it only has 10 seconds of cooldown, you can't use it no matter how you know, hard you press that button. So CLG turned around right afterwards. Now they're onto the Baron though, double mounted.
Clutch Gaming spot this is happening. They get the vision over the wall. They're going to start moving forward, the rest of the squad. But Irelia on the other side of the map.
Clutch has got to go.
Has the ward to TP to, but it's at 2k health. They're going to go for the smite. The stun was well timed, and CLG pick up the Baron. Lira cannot land that one. It's only a slow on a Biofrost, and there's suppression. They've pulled in Sej. Lira should die for this one. They're re-engaged. The hook's going to land, but they don't kill Wiggily. Not nearly fast enough. Vulcan's now low. PoE gets the kill. Counter Logic Gaming make the play.
And in this fight, it is CLG that perform a clutch team fight. They are able to get the timing window here on Baron, stunning Lira outside the pit. They can't steal it. Then Clutch Gaming force ahead in the chase, and CLG had a clear pathway to Clutch's base.
And it felt like Clutch was stunned that CLG was just gonna do the Baron like that. They saw them doing it, and then they waited 4 or 5 seconds, kind of hoping to bait a CLG initiation, which never came. And then after the Baron, they lackadaisically try and follow up to kill CLG and just go in one at a time with 2 people getting picked off.
2 things there. Very clean usage of the Skarner ultimate plus the Dark Passage from Biofrost to pull Lira even further away from his team. But also, if you looked at the mini-map, Huni on Viktor was deep in the enemy jungle trying to walk all the way around. Wow. So this was the time where Clutch, this is one of the first team fights where they have been the ones not in sync. They have been the ones missing it by a few beats, and CLG punished them heavily. Now with Baron buff, they should be able to march in on the base. They should be able to force a game 4.
3,000 gold puts CLG in the lead. Pretty much all that from the Baron and the ensuing fight afterwards. And now how much more can they get? 1 minute and 45 seconds on the Baron buff still. The siege continues onwards. Bot lane tier 2, mid lane tier 2. Likely opportunities right now. Huni trying to wave clear. Tries to buy some time, but PoE is pushing into the bot lane. The rest of the team joining in now as well. Good poke out of the Corki.
Yeah, Huni's just so weak right now, and Clutch would want to find a fight in transit while CLG is trying to work between these 2 turrets. As long as CLG keeps their tanks in front and don't allow their backline to get collapsed upon, they can achieve victory.
Meanwhile, Ruin over here on the Gangplank. I can perform with a carry Gangplank too. He has been crushing it, working towards his own Infinity Edge. And CLG, as long as they keep them spread, they should be able to continue to demolish towers. A full minute left on the Baron to keep the siege alive.
5,000 gold on the Red Bull Baron power play as they push through to the bottom lane, and CLG farther and farther ahead now. 5,000 gold lead, of course. Still 45 seconds to play with, still waves in the mid and bottom lane. Looking for some poke, can't quite find it there. Ruin plays safely enough, won't be found out. A couple of recalls come through from Clutch as the next wave is cleared.
One more wave left here, 30 seconds left on the Baron. Bottom lane will arrive first. Clutch Gaming looking for a possible engage. It looks like a Nautilus plus Sejuani combination. CLG know this, and nobody's stepping forward.
Yeah, it feels like Clutch is hoping that CLG commits hard on a turret, then they look to engage. They only have 10 seconds left on the Baron power play, so not going to overforce anything since it is still a 4,500 gold game, and if the Baron falls off, then Clutch would more freely look for a fight, which will happen any second now.
They go forward. Lots of golden inventory. Lira walks up, doesn't find that one though, and now CLG says, okay, we saw you aggressive. 30 seconds though to this Drake spawns. If CLG recalls, they're going to lose that one, so they'll have to stay on the map with golden inventory. About 1,500 gold per person, so about 7,000 gold unspent right now in CLG's pockets.
Yeah, if Clutch Gaming can find the vision control to get a good initiation, this is as good a chance as they're going to get to come back into this game, but you can see how difficult it is to get vision here when they've been pushed into their base for so long.
Yeah, CLG control the setup here. They have control over the Dragon, chunking down Vulcan to 50%. That's one of your frontliners, one that you want in there first. So CLG simply with that should be able to get it.
Nicely done. CLG retaining control of these objectives. That's theirs. And they get through the hairiest part of the game, the recall, when the gold was actually close in inventory. That fight was going to be winnable there for the Clutch Gaming side, but as we reset now, when we have the 5,000 gold difference, that's actually been cashed in. CLG have all those items. You can see 3 items now done for Stixxay, 2.5 in for PowerOfEvil. CLG is full power.
They really are. Although with no inhibitor turrets down and knowing CLG has the scaling advantage, they don't have to force plays here. I think, again, going all the way back to Champion Select, I like how much they pivoted on the style of game they were going to play. They kind of took the pressure off themselves as much as they could, saying, okay, all we have to do is not die, and then we can be in a position to win. And I feel like that freed them up to find only the good fights, right? Like earlier on when PowerOfEvil used the package top lane to kill Huni, and super crucially, the earlier fight in River where CLG should not have been there, that missed opportunity by Clutch is something that if this does go to game 4, Clutch is gonna look at and kind of think that if they would have played that fight a little bit better, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Clutch aside to the one to look for. Is this Kaisa? Oh! Damonte forces a stopwatch, runs away. No Quicksilver Sash. He's gonna just barely flash over, but he's still gonna drop down. That should be the CC. 1 for 0 on CLG Gaming are on the chase. Package separates the squad. Vulcan's flash does nothing. CLG get a 2 for 0, and Baron is spawning now.
Yeah, that's going to be Baron number 2 for CLG, and that is going to be a huge stamp on the end of this game. Clutch are coming over, but they are outnumbered and outgunned.
Might try for the desperation play. Cody Sun's alive, has ult, has flash. Maybe the big play happens, but it seems so unlikely. The pick comes through. That's going to be Baron over to CLG. Lira is running, but does not have the way out, and Cody is slowed. He'll be killed off. 4 straight kills, and the Baron picked up yet again.
CLG's gonna fend off the sweep, try and win this game 3. They do have long death timers, but the minion waves aren't quite there. They're gonna try and push these into the base.
Waiting for Clutch to respawn. There's probably 1 fight left in them as their base is going to be broken down to shambles soon.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Reuse all the stone and all the timber. CLG Gaming about to erect their monument here inside of Clutch's base as they knock down mid-lane inhibitor turret.
We should get at least 2 inhibitors for this one, but if they can land a Thresh hook or go for a series of kills, they can end the game here. Clutch will be respawning. So CLG playing the safe game here, still only 31 minutes in, actually recalling before they even get the second inhibitor.
They can't afford to make a mistake and lose this game. It is in hand, but it is also a must-win game. Look at this pick onto Damonte. This is critical. You know, it's one of those melee champions that had to get further up to farm that minion wave. CLG do a very good job using each form of CC to continue the follow, and then PowerOfEvil, beautiful package, even interrupts Vulcan's hook and finds him, predicting the flash here, Vulcan back, finishing up the kill. Just complete control for CLG. They should be able to just march this one through bottom into the Clutch Gaming Nexus.
Seems very likely now as they push forward. Bot lane looks like it's going to be the target right now. Still 1:45 left in this Baron buff. The arrow is going to hit Vulcan, burns this cleanse. Huni gets low, has to flash away. Might have died to the barrel chain. As is now Clutch Gaming forced off. CLG going to be gifted this turret off of a nice couple of ults for the engage. And CLG will break inhibitor number 2. Now the pull, they're going to get the kill, no problem on the Vulcan. CLG will not be stopped, and they will keep themselves alive in this series. The minions fall down. Clutch Gaming don't have the gold to fight back, nor the members. as CLG push in. Here comes Nexus turret number 1. Takes very few auto attacks. Still safe. Huni cannot find the way in. There's a stun. The attempt towards Ruin. He's so tanky though. Lira healthy as well. The play in again for Biofrost. Ruin is godlike. They're finding the kills again. Cody Sun's gonna drop as well. The ace comes in. CLG shows signs of life, and they take the first step toward the reverse sweep.
And look at that solo laner performance by CLG. PowerOfEvil back off of melee champions onto those late game damage dealers. So much more comfortable. Actually able to play the early game better as well with more range for CLG. For Clutch, a lot of missed opportunities in this game that they're going to want back. That's why they had that 2-game cushion to start, and CLG keep the series alive.
Well set up by Counter Logic Gaming and well executed this time around. We have ourselves a series. It was looking close there.
It was looking grim for a while for CLG.
They turned around though. They found the picks that worked. Crowd control in the bottom lane. Biofrost playmaking. You had those really awesome hooks, the awesome flays. But it really does come down to the solo lanes. Ruin back on a big carry. That was kind of his trademark play style for CLG. I think he was a big step up over Darshan, and that's what got CLG to this point. Again, nearly second place regular season. Tie broke for that. Now looking a bit back on form.
And the coordination was much better this game for CLG as well. They were actually able to win some of these earlier skirmishes and win this team fight around Baron because of the extra step on timing. They burn it down, they stun up the enemy jungler. Huni's still far off in the jungle, and they're able to get that victory.
So Counter Logic Gaming keeping this series alive. Let's get a breakdown from the State Farm analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Phreak. Clutch Gaming, they wanted to close it out in 3, but CLG not ready to pack it up and go home just yet. They are able to extend it to a 4th game here today in the Little Caesars Arena. We've got another one of the thieves. All the thieves are in the building as Amazing joins us today to help break down this 3rd game and how CLG was able to bring it back.
Yeah, we got 97 more thieves, so a lot more League of Legends coming your way.
We promise you all 100 of them.
CLG is finally here. The fact that they're playing as a team and drafting what we've seen them play all season long is a refreshing sight because it works for them, and that's what we wanted the whole time.
Yeah, I really agree. I think this was a great draft for them. My kind of concern is, can you replicate this on red side? Because they're very likely going back to that. I do think that the first round was brilliant for them, though, taking away Rumble, Kiana, as well as Akali, which has been a key pick, and then picking away the GP. So you've taken away the 4 most important picks, I believe, from Clutch, and then gone back to more of this comfortable style for PowerOfEvil. We know how good he is on these scaling team fighters, and you've given kind of the more supportive, strong laning duo of Ashe and Thresh to the bot side.
Yeah, I think the most important part is actually for me that they don't have to play on the mid 2v2 anymore. That's on Wigglily's strength, that's on PowerOfEvil's strength, and kind of stepping away from that and actually giving them the late game scaling, especially in mid lane, is something they have to work with throughout the split. So keep going back to that, but honestly, the AD carry, also the Ashe pick, is really essential for me too, because I think Stixxay, even though he had a good game 1, he had a bad game 2, I think he needs agency within those games, and he's actually a hard carry for the team. And having an Ashe to engage with is great.
But the Ashe also does so much for Wiggily because Lira's been having a great series. The fact that you can use the hawkshot to scout out the jungler helps out Wiggily so much. If he doesn't know where Lira is at, if he's a little bit uncomfortable, shoot a hawkshot. Suddenly you know, oh, Clutch Gaming is going for a play, maybe in the top side of the map. And they actually started off by first blooding Ruin, which is something that we've seen all split long, but we saw now that he was able to actually bounce back from this really well.
Yeah, they actually copied Team Liquid's pathing from last week, where explicitly just killed one side of the jungle, went over the top lane, and then you have these Herald's fights too.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is really where CLG did kind of shine. In this one, they had played a lot of these team fights out a lot more effectively. Biofrost was able to find a pretty good re-engage in this one over the wall. Finding the hook in, landing the ultimate, Fox on multiple members, 3-man play, and it was these sorts of aggressive plays that I think really start to build back your confidence in this series after a rough couple games.
3 games, 3 big fights around the Rift Herald. It looks like CLG's progressively getting better at operating around that objective. Again, though, it was a very close early and mid game, and we heard Jatt saying that Clutch had opportunities probably where they could have closed this series out 3-0. So as much as we're crediting CLG for, hey, sticking in it and finding their windows, Now you got to start to worry on the clutch side about all the windows missed, and we start to talk about those younger guys, just like we were talking about Wiggily here after a rough couple games. How do they respond? How do they bounce back? How do they analyze this game and end up coming into game 4 with, you know, fresh minds?
I think morale-wise, Clutch is fine. We saw them go against Team Liquid to get 5 games, even losing game 1 in a really dominant fashion. So I think they're good in that department. However, when it comes to the draft, the Ashe and Thresh, I think, did so much. And if CLG goes back to their style that we know that they're comfortable with, it should be something that Clutch Gaming was not used to this entire series. So it probably is a little bit different, knowing that you can't take that 2v2 mid, that the bottom lane is suddenly, you can't prioritize taking down the Ashe because she's just utility. It doesn't really matter if you knock her away. So I think that they really need to readdress how they play the game in accordance to CLG's newfound draft.
Let's take a look at the play that kind of closed it out here for CLG. A bit of an I'm helping from Biofrost with the Lantern here around the Baron. They're going to get the secure, and he's going to help his jungler get out. Oh, and hey, let's go ahead and bring Lira along the way.
The Skarner Thresh interaction is something that people don't really think about that often. You can actually ult someone and then be lanterned away and reposition completely. And I think here it worked out beautifully for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly a really nice sidestep from all 3 members of the Sejuani ult as well. Everyone's just running away in opposite directions, spreading around that, and then being able to re-engage with the Skarner ult. The Thresh Lantern comes through, and you know, it's good to see CLG bouncing back and making a series of it.
I like to believe that that's what Biofrost said in comms in the moment.
I will give you
safe passage. Very calm, very cool, very collected. But here we are. We find ourselves staring down game 4, and for CLG, this is a great boost. You know, a great mental boost, a great surge in probably energy from feeling down. We even saw Huni then too on the clutch side, kind of shaking it off as that game ended. What do you guys want to see here in game 4?
I want to see Clutch Gaming look for flanks if they find themselves in a situation where they're behind, because yes, CLG did not fail. They failed to go to game 5 against Cloud9, but they were up on game 4, and the only reason they lost that was because C9 got super creative with their engages. Clutch Gaming needs to do that. If CLG is back on their game, which we saw here in game 3, they need to also step up and improve a little bit, react to that, and don't let CLG get away with their game plan, because they did in game 3.
Amazing. Clutch is on blue this time. So as Azael was saying, his fear was in this 4th game, when CLG is on red, how do they replicate or at least find a similar draft in terms of options and agency from the red side?
I think it's going to be nearly impossible to actually get the same kind of draft. I do think, however, that they can opt for something like the Ashe again, or they can actually opt for something like a control mage in the mid lane, and actually step away from those assassins. Asia has been banned all series so far, I think, so they're not going to get that, but they're still going to be able to pick the Orianna, for example, which they picked against C9, so they're going to be in a fine spot as long as they play towards their comfort.
Yeah, I mean, you can't replicate everything because you don't have the 3 bans and then the pick away, so you're not going to be able to deny all 4. If there's one of those to leave up, I would say it's Akali. I'd rather see them let the Akali through, still continue to play your comfort, play scaling mid, and I think this is a replicatable win, but as you were talking about earlier, Clutch really wasn't that far away from taking it.
Quite obviously, League of Legends is a 5-man game, and every single member here is going to have to perform, but call it out for me on CLG. Who has to do it in this game? Who's got to bring this series back into game 5?
I think Wiggily needs to step up. I think Wiggily has been getting out-jungled even in this win. I think Lira has been dominating it. We need to see Wiggily on form as he was in the regular season. If he could have a great game for CLG, that can completely flip this around.
Yeah, I think the issue is just right now that they keep trying to play CG's game. Like game 1, 2, and 3, I think they have not really stuck to their own guns. And I think now they actually like have some kind of hope where they know that it can work out. And I think they can actually get back to that, where Wiggily is playing that supporter style. He doesn't need to gank. He can just support his lanes, make them win, and help them win the game.
And Crumbs, you had the clutch call. So go ahead and tell me, who is responsible for bringing it home here in the 4th game and not letting it go to 5?
I think I'm looking at Huni for the top lane here, because his game 3 on Viktor was really lackluster for me, and it seems like when he's feeling it, it goes so well for him. You're able to find a lot of mistakes that are ruined and really punish that. So I want to see him go back to that, and it's not so much of somebody not stepping up, but I want to see Huni back into peak form, because this reminded me of Huni in the regular season, which is not the player that we have seen in playoffs.
Well, there you have it. The series is heating up as CLG puts a point onto the board. We are going to break, but when we come back, we'll see if CLG can take the series in game 4.